HarperCollins presents Dragon Towers Sports Day by Pip Bird, read by J. Lafayette Valentine. Chapter 1. Bummy Uppies. Jazz! On my head! Theo jumped up and down, waving his arms and yelling at his friend to pass him the football. Jazz! On my tail! Their friend Felix flew past on his dragon Delilah. Well, on Delilah's tail, Felix added, and Delilah fart-roared. Delilah was a stink dragon, so her preferred methods of communication were fart-roaring and burp-roaring. Jasmeet laughed from the other side of the playground as she flicked the ball in the air, dodging a tackle from Rory the Thunder Dragon and his rider Sophia. Jazz controlled the ball and then chipped it up in the air towards Felix and Delilah. There was a whoosh as Fire Dragon Fiero swooped across the playground and blasted the ball with a jet of flames, sending it spinning back towards Jazz and Theo's goal. On Fiero's back, his rider, Elle, was chilling out and inspecting her nails. Nice shot, babes, she said, patting her dragon's neck. Felix and Delilah looped back and raced towards the ball. They reached it just in time, Delilah blasting it off the goal line with a desperate fart. Yay! Cheered Jazz, jumping up and heading the ball down and briefly stopping to gag. She passed the ball to Abdu, who was floating up the wing on his cloud dragon Nimbus. They played football with the dragons most break times. And just like everything at Dragon Towers, it made something extra magical by adding dragons. Theo loved watching football at home, even though his local club, Marshtown United, got relegated every year, and often Theo's family were the only ones who turned up to watch them. They could do with a few dragons on their team, Theo thought. He loved playing football too, even though the dazzling moves which seemed super easy in his head never seemed to come out right in an actual game. But Theo was sure he'd score a wonder goal one day, and his dragon Wanda would cheer him on no matter what. Today, Wanda wasn't on the playground, and Theo hadn't seen her since Dragon Maths. He wasn't worried. She'd just be off somewhere making friends with some, probably dangerous, creatures. Wanda was the friendliest dragon there was. Instead of striking fear into her enemies, she would be more likely to hug them and give them a present made from things she'd found in her nest. Recently, she'd been spending a lot of time making up dance routines with a slime monster who lived in the school sewage pipe. Come on! Jazz's voice rang out, and Theo snapped out of his daydream to realize that she was about to take a corner. Me! Yelled Theo. No one was marking him. This was his perfect opportunity to score his first ever goal. Me! Hey! Exclaimed Abdu, as Gustave, the tornado dragon, blew him over the top of the goal and into a classroom window. Jazz looked around, and then seeing no one else was free, she eventually crossed the ball in Theo's direction. He watched it, sailing through the air. This was his moment. He could totally do a bicycle kick, or a chip, or a back wheel, or even better, all of them at once. As he readied himself, he saw a flash of white in the corner of his eye, and heard a familiar, excited squeal. The ball got closer, and closer, and thud! Something crashed into Theo, and he went soaring through the air. He hit the ground and somersaulted over. He was tangled up in some sort of net. I've been kidnapped by a mutant spider, he yelled. Oh, no, wait. He lifted the net from his eyes and saw goalposts. Wanda was next to him, and so was the ball. Goal! He yelled. Wanda, it's our first goal! Wanda sat up and started clapping her claws together. She gave Theo a celebratory lick on the face. It was an own goal, called Jazz. Theo looked up to see them all walking over from the other end of the playground. Wanda's hug tackle had taken him a long way. Theo's disappointment disappeared almost immediately as Wanda threw her claws around him and pulled him into another of her rib-crunching hugs. It was great hanging out with his dragon best friend. Oh well, we'll score next time, Wanda, he said. Wanda grinned and started bouncing the ball on her bum. She's doing bummy uppies, said Felix. Never mind.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?